So I stack gold and silver, I collect gold and silver, and I also flip gold and silver jewelry. And I want to talk about some lessons I've learned about gold and silver and just how the price and the commodities, premiums, all that kind of stuff works. Just a bit of a deeper dive. It might not be a super long video, but a bit of a deeper dive on gold and silver and how stacking and everything actually works. When it comes to stacking, you start to focus your mind in a certain way, you start to think about gold and silver in a certain way, you start to develop a strategy around gold and silver, and then you apply everything. Your knowledge is in a little box when it comes to gold and silver, though. You're looking at things from the viewpoint of coins, of collecting, of all that kind of stuff. You're looking at it from the wants perspective, not needs perspective. Just like the gold jewelry. However, there's a few big changes in my personal opinion about all this kind of stuff, because it's not really major changes or stuff, it's just little things that you understand by doing, but you don't really fully understand it until you do it. That just tends to be how life goes for a lot of people, and I fully understand now that gold and silver, it's very liquid as a commodity. But coins, stuff like that is very liquid also. But is it liquid and are you going to get the premium back? No. You might sell a few pieces to peers when you want to go sell it, but yeah, and by the way, when you say, hey, I want to start selling, let's go on eBay, yeah, you gotta build up a reputation and reputable selling history and everything like that in order to actually be able to sell your stack when you want to sell it. Things you gotta consider, because I hear a lot of people being like, oh, when it comes time to sell, I'll start making some eBay posts. And no, you gotta do that today if you want to sell it tomorrow. You gotta build up a reputation today if you want to sell it tomorrow. This isn't so much of that's if you want to get your premiums back and if you want it to be liquid when you get your premiums back. It is something very important a lot of people oversee and they don't really think about. They think, oh yeah, it's liquid, you can take your stuff anywhere, sell it, you can sell it to people, everyone wants to buy it, but it's going to say, you have to realize getting your premium back is not really happening. Because in order for you to sell it online, people are just going to go to the online stores if you don't undercut them. Meaning you're not going to get the full premium back because your premium must be lower than theirs if that's where you're buying it from. It's going around online though that, oh, you're going to get your premiums back. And you hear people say you will get the premiums back. It's more of a you might. You might get the premiums back. Probably not. And it's just like, oh, well, gold and silver, it's melt value, that's just, everything goes at a premium. Like silver, the premiums, and everyone says, oh, try finding silver at melt value or anything, you can't find it. I'm consistently buying silver and gold below scrapping value. Way below spot price. This is consistently buying. This isn't a deal here, a deal there. I'm going to the local auctions and everything like that. I'm getting this at least every 2 weeks I'm getting a crazy deal on something. And I'm not really paying, not even melt value for my silver today. That's because, oh, this silver is fine, but hey, this isn't pure silver. It's not as good as the stuff you would expect to get at melt value. You wouldn't expect we'll sell water at this price. Oh yeah, well, it's diluted water. That doesn't really fly. The same thing with silver. That's really what I understand. This stuff here is really more of the collectibles market and stuff like that, the coins and all that. Not really the stacking. The stacking, that's just silver as a commodity. People, I find, they would, nowadays this is a collectible, but these kind of bars. One of the angle hards that I didn't melt. Got from Silverstruck a while ago. Shout out to Silverstruck. Awesome friend, great channel. Link is right up there. But it's something, this is the kind of stuff where all you want is silver. You get that, you get silver shot, whatever. You pour your own bars, doesn't matter. A generic bar is a generic bar. Why would you pay insane premiums instead of just getting it at melt value or whatever? That's really how my mind works. Yeah, I also pour silver and everything, and I'm getting into the refining aspect of it and all that. So I'm starting to build a well-rounded knowledge base of all of this. Not just from a stacker's perspective, from jeweler's perspective. I'm trying to look at this from all angles. And I'm a value investor, so I also look at it from value investing standpoint. And that, keep in mind, value investors such as myself, we like getting paid to hold things, having earnings to show and everything like that. That's just typical, that's just kind of the way I invest. That's what I really like about it. And once silver gets up over a certain point, like 20% premiums, hard, since I've started doing the jewelry auctions and everything and seeing silver from really many different perspectives, these premiums, I cannot bring myself to buy at these premiums. I'm still stacking coins and stuff like that, but this is my second last purchase, sorry. I did get a couple maples after this, but this, I guess I forgot about that setting up for the video, but yeah, I just walk up to the camera, I'm not really, that's how my style or whatever, I don't really think too far ahead, but yeah, this I didn't pay melt value at all. I was quite a bit below, but I feel like why should I be paying melt value if the market's not going to give me melt value when I go to sell it. They're going to give me below melt value because the dealers and everything, they want to sell this at melt value. They want to be able to get it at that price so that they could potentially just get their money back quickly at melt value. Me to sell it online, I could sell it above melt value, yeah. But it's just too much effort, too much work and everything, and it's not as liquid that way. I'm not really into the selling of coins, I'm more so into the selling of jewelry, all that kind of stuff. This would be some of the pieces that I have been flipping, like this silver tanzanite pendant there, or whatever that is. I forget what this one, it's 10 karat white gold though, and funny thing about white gold, it's often mixed with silver. That's what helps make it white, and then it can also be rhodium plated sometimes, all that kind of stuff, but yeah, sometimes it's mixed with like silver and stuff. Kind of cool, kind of interesting. That's kind of what gives it that white tone. You have to step outside your box to fully appreciate the commodity. Jewelry, yeah, you could buy that way lower, sell it, and get a way higher premium, but that ain't liquid. It's the same thing as coins, it's just to a different market that you're doing that with. But it's the exact same thing. Pouring and starting to get into the refining, you really realize how much money and margins are actually in each step of like how much people are actually making off of everything. You start to realize how much you start to realize how, like, there's some purchases in the past, knowing what I know today, I wouldn't make those purchases. But I do not regret it, because I'm looking back and thinking, wow, I actually did insane, like phenomenal for some of the information I was missing at the time. But I was gonna say, this is just stepping out of your box, going into new aspects and looking at gold and silver from a different kind of perspective. Like coins, jewelry, it's the exact same thing from a business standpoint. It is absolutely the exact same thing. And guess what? If you want to sell these coins to me, like, I want to be getting these under melt value. I want my gold under melt value, for sure. That's just the way I'm buying, and I'm buying this stuff consistently, as I've said. It's not a here or there. This is the way the market works. This is the harsh realities of the marketplace. And since I've fully understood this, and since I've done the jewelry flipping and all of that, and going into refining and everything, the rate of gains on everything have been beyond what I've ever expected. I seem to be drawing really nice lines in the sand, such as the $25 an ounce. I feel like that's a great line in the sand, looking back how everything went, and to predict that in advance. And I did that very publicly, and I got a lot of flack for it at the time, but I looking back and thinking, man, I nailed that one. Many of you might disagree, but I'm not really regretful of anything that I've done so far, but there's definitely a lot that needs to be said for stepping out of your box, looking at everything from a different point of view. Perspective is everything. Bitcoin, for example, makes 0 cents for me to buy. But if I lived in El Salvador, yeah, I would want Bitcoin. If I lived in Venezuela, I would want Bitcoin. This is just... I'm not throwing shade at those countries, it's just a harsh reality of life. Every country goes through major inflation and everything, but where's the risk at? Where's the reward? I'm hedging for my currency. Just saying. This is stuff you should be considering, though. You should be following, you should be expanding how you look at it, your perspectives, and everything will be a lot more clear in people's minds, and you won't be emotional. And like there's a lot of people who, there earlier this year, silver is off to 1,000. Oh no, it's only I thought it was going to be going to 35, but then you see the same people making videos right now and stuff, and they're commenting and everything saying it's going to $18. I'm thinking, you were just telling me is going parabolic high, and now you're saying, oh, actually I was completely wrong, it's gonna go and fall through the floor. And it feels like you're not gonna have those reactions. You're not gonna have this unstable thought process. You're not gonna be as bipolar, let's say, of going one way then the next and the next and the next. You might be a little more level, and you might be a little more direct your path. Instead of, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then everything's kind of all over the place. Your strategy, the original strategy hasn't been followed. Just my thoughts and opinions, and I'd love to know all of your thoughts and opinions. And the price of gold is right where it should be. The price of silver is right where the market's saying it should be. And you guys couldn't say anything about the price should be higher or this or this or this. When it comes to physical silver, physical gold, this is right where it should be. The markets have spoken. Now you might want this maple here, and maybe it's $100 above spot price. Well, that's life. You want this. Do you want just some gold though? Do you want some casting grain? Do you want some just whatever gold you could get as a commodity? It's going to be pretty cheap. You're not going to be paying over melt value. That's really a strong takeaway that I want everyone to fully understand who watches this video and who is still watching. Because if you're still watching this far into the video, I really appreciate you. And I know I haven't been going with the flow and everything, and I've definitely fallen off a bit because of it, and I just don't care. It's not the point of the channel to... Yeah, the monetization's great, but I'm probably just going to drop that going into next year because, like, it's just not worth it with the taxes and everything. Like, I just don't want to be doing, like, you gotta pay taxes to America and Canada, and or I gotta go talk to a tax lawyer to figure out the American tax system and all that, and it's just not worth it for me. I just have zero desire to go for the analytics. I'm here to share my story. That's kind of what it's all about. And this might not be what you want to hear, but I believe it's what everyone should hear. I'm trying to be extremely transparent with where I'm at, what I've done, how my stacking's going, where I'm probably going to be moving towards and stuff like that, what kind of stuff will be, where my mind is at, basically. I'm really happy about the way everything has worked out going up until this point, but I'm looking and thinking there's so many more really bad mistakes that could have been made that I see a lot of people make. I have a feeling like they're gonna regret some of their actions when it comes time to liquidate and everything. I'm not talking about buying collectibles and stuff. I'm saying I only do this, I only do that I just buy this, I just buy that. That's a bit more of what I'm talking about than you collect. Hey, that's fun, that's a hobby. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with spending money on your hobbies. But yeah, I'm kind of ranting now. I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Join the Beaver Dam fam. Subscribe with all notifications on. Stay positive. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.